Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super exciting video. I am doing my first TBR jar, TBR shelf video. No. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This has been extremely disappointing. This is actually my first time picking a book out of my TBR jar. I have my TBR shelf right here. And I'm super excited to finally get started on lowering the amount of books on my TBR cart. So they're all in here. I have them separated by, I believe blue is like fantasy, sci-fi, those types of books. And then I think these are like literary fiction, romance, historical fiction, anything that's not fantasy basically. And I have been reading the Chestnut Spring series for like the past month. And then before that, I read like 3 historical fiction / literary fiction books, and I am craving a fantasy book. I have definitely been soaking up the romance books while it's still summer, so I'm not upset about it. But I really need some fantasy in my life, and I'm hoping that I actually do get a fantasy or a good one, and I'm actually hoping that the blue are fantasy because I can't really remember. But yeah, I think we should just get right into it. This isn't a challenge of any sort. It's just a little reading vlog where I'm just reading off of my TBR cart. I think it's gonna be maybe like a week's worth of reading, and I'm just really excited to get into it. So I don't know how many I'm gonna read. I'm hoping maybe 2 or 3 this week. So I am gonna pick one now, and then I'll come back and pick another one whenever I finish, because I don't know what mood I'm gonna be in, if I want to switch it up and go romance, literary fiction. For right now, I'm just gonna do my first pick, and hopefully it's something good. I am actually a little bit nervous because I don't necessarily want to read all of these books. There's a reason they've been sitting on my physical TBR for so long, so I don't know. Hopefully we get something good. I am actually extremely nervous. I feel like maybe I should tell you what I want to read and then just see what happens. Books that I am feeling are honestly any of my fairy loot books. I have been itching to get to all of those. Another few books I'm interested in reading right now is The Road of Bones, or I have Sight. That's been on my list for a while, and I have started that one and I never finished it, so I would be happy with one of those. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit just for good luck. I don't know. And then I'm definitely gonna pick a blue one. They're all stuck together, so I'm gonna be careful. They're also Sharpie, so I can see a little bit even though I can't read it because it's all rolled up. So I'm just gonna close my eyes just in case. Actually, I can't close my eyes because I wanna make sure it's blue. Okay, whatever, I'm just gonna pick. Okay, so I have a blue one. All right, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. Okay. My handwriting is really bad, but I'm going to show you anyways. And I remember when I did these, I was really tired and I didn't feel like doing this. And some of the titles I just shortened. So there's that. And I'm going to show you first. I can't see it. Okay. I'm nervous. Oh, no. I don't really want to read this one. Okay. So I got... Guys, this is one of the ones I like really didn't want to read. I got Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. When I bought this book, it just looked so interesting, and then the description was something about she stumbled into like a book world that she liked or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And then I didn't read it, and then I started seeing people talking about it, and it wasn't the best. They didn't have the best reactions, and I then lost interest in wanting to read it. So, I mean, this is good. I should read something and see my own opinions on it, but I was not hoping for this. I was really not hoping for this one, so it's okay. Well, first of all, look at this cover. This is what really drew me to it. That is just so... I don't know. It just like... It's like powerful for some reason. And then the description is... A tale for anyone who's ever fallen for the villain. As her whole life collapses, Rice still has books. Dying, she seizes the second chance at living. a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. She wakes in a castle on the edge of a hellish chasm, home to the once and forever Emperor, her favorite fictional character. He's impossibly alluring as only fiction can be. However, in this fantasy world, she discovers that she's not the heroine, but the villainess in the Emperor's tale. Time to assemble a rogues gallery of villains and hatch an evil plot. I wish I didn't choose this one. Well, I guess that's the good thing about the TBR jar, is that it forces me to read books that I probably wouldn't read otherwise. So I'm going to start reading this, and I'll let you know my thoughts as I go along. I just want to give a quick update on where I'm at in this book. Honestly, I'm not loving it. I am in the middle of chapter 16, which is halfway through this book, 186 pages into this book, and that alone says something that I really don't like about this book, and it's how long these chapters are. These chapters feel so ridiculously long that it's like exhausting just to sit down and read one chapter, honestly. Yeah, I know a little bit more about this book now that I've been reading it, and basically, without giving any spoilers, this book is about a girl who is very sick in real life, and she clings to characters in books, or just books in general, to like live through. One day she finds herself in the world of her favorite book series, and unfortunately realizes that she is actually one of the villains in the book. Her goal, or her mission, is to find a specific item, and that is how she'll get back to her real world. However, now that she's in this world, she has found herself on the side of the villains, and she's in a really interesting predicament when she first gets there. And she's also trying to keep the story on track, keep certain people that are supposed to meet. She's trying to keep the story the same, and she's really struggling with that because the story just keeps changing while she's there. Anyway, she basically brings together a group of villains to work together towards her mission. She doesn't see these people as people, she sees them as characters. I'm still a little bit confused on that, whether they're characters or whether they're like people in a real world that she somehow, I don't know. But either way, I don't love this book. I'm not loving this book. I think I'm like 45% through. I have mostly been reading on my Kindle. It's just not really what I expected. I think I was expecting a real villain arc and story, and it feels like they're just trying to portray the villain as if they're not villains. Not just her, also her group of villains that she's working with. I just don't really get it. Maybe I'll get it more as I continue. Yeah, I mean, my main problem isn't really with the plot. The plot is kind of, it's not the best, but my main problem is with the writing. I do not like how this book is written. Sorry to the author, but I hate how long these chapters are. I hated the beginning of this book. It felt like just pages and pages of info dumping. And it's because the main character was introducing us to her favorite book series. It's a fantasy book, and it's like this whole world. So they're doing the world building of both this book and the fantasy book at the same time. And it was just a lot and weird because it's being told to us through the perspective of someone who has already read these books, and it just didn't really make sense. It really just felt like I was being thrown information with no context. And then on top of that, all of the characters in this fantasy book have two different names. They have like the name they are known as and then their real name, and both are used interchangeably. And it was just really weird until I was in that book, The Other World. I really just didn't understand anything that was being said, so I feel like I kind of missed a lot because I was also really bored. I'm really trying hard not to DNF because I feel like that kind of defeats the point of this video, but I think if I were reading this just for my own fun and happiness and joy, I would have DNF'd a while ago. I am getting to a point where it's a lot more interesting, mostly just because I know what's going on. Yeah, I don't love it. I'm still feeling like there's just a lot of info dumping. Either way, like I said, I am getting to a point where it's getting a lot better. I have no idea where this is going. It's kind of weird and all over the place, and I guess that's the point because she's disrupting the plot of the story. That's my update. I honestly am just really excited to finish this book and move on to the next one. This has been extremely disappointing so far. Okay, so it's been a few days. I'm on page 328. According to my Kindle, that is 76% of the way through, and it says I have about 3 hours left. So I showered, I ate, I did all the things, and now I'm gonna lock in and I'm gonna finish this book. Because originally this video was supposed to be me picking multiple TBR picks out of my TBR jar, and I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it might just be this TBR pick and my review of it. Maybe, we'll see. I might do one more. As of right now, I just need to get through this. So for the next 3 hours, hopefully, I'll be sitting here and I'll be reading this book. Yeah, so far, I don't love it. I also don't hate it anymore. It's definitely gotten a lot better. I just feel like it's too long. I feel like there's just too much describing of everything. Like, it's just so in detail and it really doesn't need to be. And then at the same time, the writing is also like very like teenager-ish. I don't know how to explain it. It's just not meshing well in my brain, at least. It's not my favorite. I am definitely ready to just be done with it. I don't feel like I need to DNF it. Sometimes I feel bad even finishing a book if I know I'm gonna rate it super low. I'm not feeling that way. I think it's okay. Like, I think it'll get at least 3 stars. Probably not more. If I have to guess right now, I'm probably gonna give this book 3 stars. It's good enough to finish. It's good enough to keep reading, but that's about it. But yeah, anyways, I need to lock in. I finally finished Long Live Evil. Thank goodness. I am so tired of that book. I am so happy to be done with this book. I think I've been reading it for like maybe like 9 or 10 days. It's just been such a struggle to get through. The beginning was so slow, so boring, to be honest. Anyways, I'm done with it. The ending was so good compared to the beginning. I did give it 3 stars. I think I'm gonna stick with that. I don't want to say too much bad about it, but I will say I just think it lasted way too long and I just didn't love how the writing was. But that's all I'm gonna say. Besides that, it was pretty good. The ending was great. I would say this book is almost worth reading just for the ending. However, it's not really a romantasy book, and to be honest, going into it, that's what I thought it was. I would say it's more of just a fantasy, so a lot of my criticisms from the beginning about the descriptions or the world building or stuff like that, that was me basing it off of the idea that it was a romantasy. Now at the end of the book, knowing that it's not really a romantasy, it's more of a fantasy, I kind of take some of that back. I mean, I still didn't enjoy it, so I don't take it back too much, but yeah, I mean, getting to the end, it makes a lot more sense that the beginning was that way. I'm so excited to go pick a new book from my TBR cart. I'm kind of nervous because I really need like an easy, fun read, and I know that most of the books on there aren't that. Maybe I can just get a book that I'm more into and I can read really fast. I don't know. Let's go see. I'm gonna go do that right now. Okay, my location has changed. I'm in the book room, obviously. And I have my TBR jar right here. My TBR cart is like right there. I'm not pulling it over because it's just a hassle to put back, but all I really need is this and whatever book I get off of it. So sorry guys, I'm being really lazy. I don't feel like putting you on a tripod or anything, so I think that'll work. Okay, all of the books that I just added are like right on the top, so I kind of want to mix this up a little. And I'm probably gonna make a little bit of a mess, but I'm just gonna pour them right here and then mix them and then put them back in. Also, I don't know if I want to choose like another fantasy book or a romance or literary fiction. I just looked at my, this is so bad. I just looked at my TBR cart and I saw A Little Life is on there, and honestly, I don't even want to risk picking that one. So I think I'm gonna go with fantasy. Okay, TBR jar is filled with all of the books, and then I'm just gonna pick a blue one. So everyone knows I'm not like cheating. I'm gonna go down. Oh, I dropped one. Okay, let's see. I'm so nervous. I really want a fun, like light, easy read. I don't know if I even have any of those though. Oh no, this is actually exciting. I got The Dagger and the Flame. I've been wanting to read this for such a long time. I don't even know why I haven't. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm actually so excited. 1 second. Oh my gosh, it's thick. Oh, she's thick. Okay, guys, I was literally just watching Haley Pham's new video. It's with, I think her name is Ashlyn. They were like swapping libraries and Ashlyn was picking, oh my god, I hope her name is Ashlyn. It might not be Ashlyn. It might be Ashley. I'm gonna double check on that. I was watching that video and her friend got to pick a book for her from her library that she thought she'd love, and she picked this one and it reminded me that I had it. And I haven't read it. I never see anyone talking about this book, but for some reason in my head this is like gonna be a really good book. And her friend, Haley Pham's friend, said in that video that this book did enemies to lovers perfectly, and I'm so excited. I'm actually like so excited. Also, I forgot to mention, with Long Live Evil, I really did not love the beginning of this book. I mean, I already told you that. I didn't love the beginning of this book. The ending was so good, specifically the last chapter. I saw it coming. There was a lot of hints that it was coming, but the way it ended was so interesting that it almost makes me want to read the second book or the next book in the series, but I'm not. I'm not continuing the series. I really don't love the writing, and I feel bad saying that, but that's the main reason I'm not continuing this series. I do think though that this is going to be one of those series where it's like you just have to get through the first book, and I'm going to be honest, I just don't think I got through the first book. I don't think it's not worth it for me. But I am actually curious, and I might even just like look up what happens in the second book because I do want to know. But I have a feeling the like enemies to lovers in the second book might go crazy. All right, so I'm about to go sit down and start this book. I'm really excited and I'll take you along. I'll give you my updates and my thoughts. And this is a big book. It's almost 500 pages. It might even be 500 pages. Oh my gosh, it's literally 499 pages. So all of my desires of reading a short, fast, easy book are gone. But that's okay because I'm getting them off of my physical TBR, and that's the whole point of this video. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Hey guys, so I just realized I've been reading this book for like a few days and I'm about 70% of the way through, and I never gave any updates or even explained what this book was about. And I think that might be because I just didn't really know what the book was about at first. I think I'm at a place now where I definitely do know, which I mean, it's about time. I don't really know how to put into words what it's about without giving too many spoilers. And I don't have the book sleeve on it right now, so I can't even look at what that says. But I'll tell you that it is like a true enemies to lovers. I definitely said that prior when I picked the book because I saw Ashlyn say that in Haley Pham's new video. And she's so right. This is enemies to lovers, like at its peak. They have definitely tried to kill each other a few times and actually have like every reason to hate each other. So I'll give you a little bit of an overview. So it's a city run by magic. There's daggers and cloaks. They both use magic in different ways. They do not step on each other's toes. They do not even really interact for the most part. And then there's Seraphine. Sarah is the daughter of the smuggler of this magic. So this magic is technically not allowed. No one besides the daggers and the cloaks use this magic or are allowed to use this magic. And it's the only magic left on the continent. I'm really struggling to explain this. I'm just going to look up the description, actually. That would be a lot easier. Okay, here's what it says. In Phantom, a kingdom of cobbled streets, flickering lamplights, beautiful buildings, and secret catacombs, shade magic is a scarce and deadly commodity controlled by two enemy, the cloaks and the daggers, the thieves and the assassins. On the night of her mother's murder, 17-year-old Seraphine runs for her life. Seeking sanctuary with the cloaks, Sarah's heart is set on revenge. But are her secret abilities a match for the dark-haired boy whose quicksilver eyes follow her around the city? Nothing can prepare Sarah for the moment she finally comes face to face with Ransom, heir to the Order of the Daggers. And Ransom is shocked to discover that this unassuming farm girl wields a strange and blazing magic he has never seen before. Among rumors of monsters stalking the streets and the rival guilds grappling for control of Phantom's underworld, Sarah and Ransom are drawn together by something more than just magic and must face a deadly choice: forgiveness or vengeance, kiss or kill, dagger or flame. Yeah, that's way better than I could have put this into words. There's a lot going on. It is a fantasy book, and fantasy elements, the magic, the world building, the stakes are so high. This is honestly so far such a good book. I am enjoying it so much. From the very first chapter, like, you're gonna be drawn in. The first chapter is extremely alluring. Like, you want to know what's happening, what's going on. I'm 70% of the way through, almost, I believe. And I still don't really fully comprehend what happened in the first chapter. I have an idea, but we're still getting to it, and it's just so entertaining. The enemies to lovers aspect is so good. These characters, they both have such intense and realistic backstories that they're just such complex characters, and you almost don't know who to root for or what to root for because you can identify that the things they're doing may be wrong, but their backstory or their reason for doing certain things just makes you feel for them. And it's like you're just rooting so hard for these two characters to maybe just talk and see where the other person is coming from, or I don't know, you're just rooting for them to finally get together. You're rooting for them to finally have those conversations where everything makes sense, where they will eventually have empathy for one another. And I'm not even done with this book. Honestly, they haven't even gotten together or anything, which that's kind of a spoiler, sorry. Yeah, sorry. They haven't even gotten together, and I'm like 70% through. So if you want like real enemies to lovers, if you want yearning, this is the book. This book is so good. I'm actually kind of surprised the ratings on Goodreads were like 3.85, I think. I was just looking at it. And that kind of shocked me because even though I'm not done with this book, I'm enjoying it so much that I can't even really imagine giving it less than a 4. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to end, but right now, I feel like it might be a 4. Like, it's a really entertaining book. I think the magic system is very interesting and different. And the enemies to lovers is just real and raw and true. I just can't wait to see them finally get together. I'm really excited. Anyways, it has taken me a few days to get to this point. I have not been in the reading mood, but I have my candle lit. I have like 30% left, and it is like 9:30, but I've had a lot of caffeine, so I'll be here. I'll be here trying to finish this. Guys, I've never been so shook by a plot twist in my entire life. I literally never saw that coming. Oh my gosh. If you read this book and you know, I think you have to know. I think anyone that's read this book would know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, there was hints. There was literally hints. There were so many hints and I didn't catch a single one. I really wish this was like a spoiler vlog. Actually, just skip like 30 seconds if you haven't read this book. I'll put on the screen where I stop talking about this. He's her dad. He's her dad. I'm not joking. I literally never saw that coming. That thought never crossed my mind, not even once. Literally not even one time did I think that was even a possibility. That's why he was watching her so closely. That's why she hated him so much, the mom. That's why the mom hated it. Guys, I can't even. What the fuck? And then on top of that, she said in the beginning that she's met her dad a few times. Now I'm like super curious. Like now I kind of want to go back and like reread all of the beginning because what the fuck? I've literally never been so shocked. This might be the biggest plot twist. Is that even considered a plot twist? I guess so. Either way, this is probably the biggest shock I've ever gotten from a book. Like that is insane. And it was so perfectly hinted at without giving it away at all. At least for me. Maybe I just missed. Maybe I just missed all of the hints. Maybe I'm just not very smart. But I did not see that coming. Okay, I'm done. But I really like this book. I'm really enjoying this book and I think I have a few more hours left, but I think I'm just gonna finish it tonight because I'm having such a great time right now. Something bad is gonna happen. I don't know what, but something bad is gonna happen and I'm already sad. It's like things are just too good between her and Ransom right now. And I think something really bad is gonna happen. I'm like already almost to tears and it hasn't even happened yet. So I'm sorry the lighting is horrible. It is the next night and I did finish this book last night. I stayed up, well, I could have finished by like 1, but I got distracted and scrolled on TikTok and I ended up staying up till like 3 a.m. to read this book. I just showered and I'm about to go to bed and I just wanted to quickly give my final thoughts on this book. And honestly, this book was great. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the premise of the book. I liked the magic system. I liked the enemies to lovers. I liked how high the stakes were. I just really had a good time reading this book. Some things I didn't like and some of the reasons I couldn't give it a 5 is I didn't love the beginning. It was like a little bit slow. The very beginning was super interesting and then the chapters after that were just dragging for a pretty long time. But then once it got good, it was like impossible to put down. And the last like 25% of this book was amazing, except, and this is just my opinion, I have nothing against smut like at all. Actually, I usually think it adds to the plot and sometimes if it's missing from a book, it kind of can ruin the book a little bit. However, I just don't think this book needed smut. I think this book could have definitely just been a YA type of book. I know the characters are adults. I know she's 18, but like the smut was just so unnecessary. And then the timing of it also was very weird. They didn't even, well, not to give any spoilers, but they didn't even like really get to that point. But the minor smut that was in there, which it really wasn't a lot. There was like barely any, but what was in there just felt so forced. It just felt like it was like trying to check boxes off of a checklist of things that are needed to make a book viral. Like, that's how it felt. If you read this book, you would know what I'm talking about. It's like during the main scene, and it's just weird. It just doesn't need to be there, in my opinion. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about this book. I really truly enjoyed it, and I definitely will be reading the rest of the series. I'm pretty sure this book only came out recently, so I don't think the next books in the series are out, but I will be following along. I really truly enjoyed, and I am happy I did this video because I've been wanting to read this and I don't know when I would have ever gotten to it. So yeah, I'm happy about that. And by the way, I think I gave it 4 stars. And then also this book that I read for this video was 3 stars, which it wasn't my favorite book. I definitely had a lot of bad to say about it, but overall I'd say that those are pretty good ratings for what this was. I'm gonna continue reading off of my TBR, off of my physical TBR. However, I'm gonna take a break from the TBR jar picking my books because I just want to mood read a little bit. But yeah, I had a great time. This was definitely worth doing. I got 2 books off of my physical TBR and I thoroughly enjoyed one of them and kind of enjoyed the other. So I think that's a win. But yeah, thanks for following along. If you're interested in these videos, I'll definitely have more because I have a whole TBR over here that I need to get through. Thanks for watching. Bye.